The latest Genshin Impact live stream has been showcased, which means we can finally start talking about some of the Natland characters. Today we're going to be talking about Kinish, which I am sure I'm butchering his name. He's going to end up being a 5-star Claymore Dendro user. This is his Ascension card, including all of the new materials that you can't prepare for, and this is the banner he's going to be in. So his normal attack has a couple things worth mentioning. Most notably, after using his elemental skill, you can do a mid-air swing and perform a normal attack mid-air before you land. But that's about it, so let's move on to his skill, which is Canopy Hunter Riding High. Kinish uses his big game hunting skills to either move swiftly or attack his opponent. When there is an opponent or object that can be attacked nearby, he will attach a grappling hook to the target and enter Night Soul's Blessing with 0 Night Soul points. If neither is nearby, he fires a grappling hook forward and swings in midair, and the skill's cooldown is decreased by 60%. The ability can be held in order to aim the grappling hook. The Night Soul's Blessing for Kinish lasts 10 seconds and generates 2 Night Soul points every second. In this state, Kinish can hook onto a nearby opponent and perform a variable attack. When using a normal attack, Kinish will fire loop shots as he loops around the grappling target based on his current movement direction, dealing Night Soul aligned Dendro damage and generating 3 Night Soul points. Loop shot damage is considered elemental skill damage. When Night Soul points are at maximum, he can use the elemental skill Scale Spiker Cannon. This will consume all Night Soul points to deal Night Soul aligned Dendro damage. When Scale Spiker Cannon is held, Kinish can aim this shot. After firing the cannon, Kinish will try to grapple to its target. While in Night Soul's Blessing, after grappling an opponent or firing the cannon, a blind spot will be generated next to the opponent. When Kinish enters this blind spot, it will disappear and he will gain 4 Night Soul points. If the grapple connection should snap due to exceeding the maximum distance or other reasons, using a normal attack will establish a new connection with a nearby opponent before performing the loop shots. And his ultimate ability, Hail to the Almighty Dragon Lord, unleashes the power of Ajah the Mighty Dragon Lord, dealing Night Soul aligned area of effect Dendro damage. Ajah will unleash his dragon breath at intervals, dealing Night Soul aligned area of effect Dendro damage. If Kinish is in Night Soul's Blessing when he is using his ultimate ability, this blessing's duration is extended by 1.7 seconds. Now his passive abilities. Swift Envoy. While in an area with phlogiston mechanics within Natland, interacting with some harvestable resources will increase the party member's movement speed by 15% for 10 seconds. Additionally, the location of nearby resources unique to Natland will appear on your minimap. Knight's Realm Gift repaid in full. When Kinish is in the air following his elemental skill's mid-air swing, he can consume 10 phlogiston points to perform another mid-air swing. While in an area with phlogiston mechanics within Natland, he can use Night Soul Transmission Kinish. When the current character is sprinting or uses a skill that gives movement abilities or is a certain height in the air, when you switch to Kinish, he'll perform the following actions depending on the conditions met. When facing a coil grass sigil that can be interacted with, he will fire a grappling hook towards it to move. When there are nearby opponents and you are in combat, Kinish will use his elemental skill in the direction of the opponents. Otherwise, Kinish will fire a grappling hook and swing, prioritizing valid coil grass sigils as grappling targets. Night Soul Transmission can be triggered once every 10 seconds by your own party. When interacting with coil grass sigils and other items that can be interacted with Kasars, which is one of the mounts, the elemental skill of Kinish will be converted to Kasar Mimesis, which causes interactions with such items to follow rules applicable to Kasaris, in which case it will not put Kinish's elemental skill on cooldown. His next passive, the Price of Desolation. When in Night Soul's Blessing, opponents hit by Kinish's elemental skill will enter the desolate state. When affected by burning or burgeon reaction damage, they will restore 7 Night Soul points to him. Night Soul points can be gained this way once every 0.8 seconds. The desolate state will persist until this instance of Kinish's Night Soul Blessing state ends. And his last passive, Flame Spirit Pact. When a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, Kinish will gain 1 stack of Hunter's experience that lasts 15 seconds, maximum 2 stacks. And when Kinish uses the Scale Spiker Cannon, all stacks of Hunter's experience will be consumed, with each stack consumed increasing the damage dealt by the cannon by 320% of Kinish's attack. Moving on to his constellations. His C1. After Kinish lands from his elemental skill's mid-air swing, his movement speed will be increased by 30% 100% for 6 seconds. Additionally, Scale Spiker Cannon's crit damage is increased by 100%. His C2. When Kinish's elemental skill hits an opponent, it will decrease their Dendro resistance by 30% for 6 seconds. Additionally, the first Scale Spiker Cannon Kinish fires after entering the Night Soul's Blessing has increased area of effect, and its damage is increased by 100%. His C3 will increase his elemental skill by 3 levels. His C4. When in Night Soul's Blessing, Kinish will restore 5 energy after using his loop shots or after unleashing the Scale Spiker Cannon. Energy can be regenerated this way once every 2.8 seconds, and additionally, his ultimate ability will deal 70% more damage. His C5 will increase his ultimate by 3 levels, and his C6. After Scale Spiker Cannon hits an opponent, it will bounce between opponents once, dealing 700% of Kinish's attack as Dendro damage. If this Scale Spiker Cannon triggers the buff that passive talent Flame Spirit Pact, or his C2, grant to the cannon, the bouncing attack will also obtain the relevant buffs. Overall, a pretty cool looking character. I really like the movement abilities, but frankly speaking, I just don't have the Primo Gems.